Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third party.
Transformers!
This week, we have a new upgrade kit for the Ark. We also have some new red figures to talk about, and what is going on with the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. Today is Wednesday, December 15th, 2021, and this is episode 464 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that just realized there's only a week and a half until Christmas. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, what's up, everyone?
And Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
All right, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Or I'll say that again because I got it wrong. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and help keep the show going. If Daryl were here, he would also thank you. Sadly, he's not here this week because he's recovering from what I assume is an awesome time at TFCon Toronto. He hung out, with all the Canadian folks up there. Probably a few Americans made it up there too, since we can cross the border into Canada. The Canadians, I guess they did just open the border to Canada now, but
yeah. Well, hopefully they opened it because then the Americans can get back.
Yeah. That's right. But we'll have to ask Daryl all about his fun time next week. But yeah, he's getting the night off, so we'll somehow try to put a toy show together without him. So
it's substandard, but it'll be fine.
Before we get into toys, I do want to remind you that for all of our Donatrons, we do have those bonus episodes of Empire of Rust. And this week, the uncut early bonus episode of Empire of Rust, episode 65. When the party's over, it's over. And this is exclusive to our Donatrons. It just came out this Monday. Should be available in the Patreon feed. So if you are a Donatron, you can get access to that episode early, because everyone will not get the regular episode until next Monday, December 20th. So you've got a whole week to listen and enjoy. Don't spoil it for everyone else, though. All right, well, let's jump right into some toy news.
All right, this week I have an upgrade kit from DNA Design for the Autobot Ark. This is their Dk31 Upgrade Kit, and it consists of fully articulated hands, some leg covers, 2 additional twin turrets, and a command deck back filler for the alt mode. And I think this looks really cool. The Ark already it was pretty impressive, but having the hands really make a big difference, in my opinion. And then the leg fillers, it just kind of cleans it up a little bit. And I love all the stuff that DNA Designs does. If I had the Ark, I would definitely be getting this kit. It just, kind of puts some extra love on an already amazing toy. Charles, what are your thoughts on this?
I agree. This makes the Ark look even better. It's if you do have the Ark, it's it's probably I imagine this is, compared to the price of the Ark itself, this is probably not that huge a bump in price to add some additional features for it. And yeah, having fully articulated hands makes it look cool. And it makes the ship mode looks even better too. So.
Yeah, I was just looking online. It's going to be about $40.
Okay,
that's not an unreasonable upgrade kit.
Mm-hmm.
And like TF Source is actually selling both the ARC and the upgrade kit together. So for $219, you can get both of them and just be ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Apollo.
I'm sorry. I was saying, yeah, I definitely looking at the comparison between like getting rid of all those hollow spaces makes it look really nice.
Yeah. And robot mode, the leg pieces really cover up a lot of the like kind of exposed dark areas that it seems like the orange plastic really should be there.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo, what are your thoughts on this kit?
I think this upgrade kit looks really slick. Like, this is actually really like convincing me I should get this figure with the upgrade kit. So that's good to know that TF Source is selling them as like a set. But it just adds so much to this figure already. Like, it just like, I didn't think that there being no, the holes on it would bother me, but like after seeing the upgrade kit installed, it just looks so much better. It almost seems like a different figure with like the new hands and the fillers put in. So I'm really going to have to think about actually getting this now. So
yeah. I mean, the worst part about it is just the room it's going to take because the ARC is so big.
Yeah, I know. Like, I just got a Scorponok like I think about like a month or so ago, and it's just like they're great figures. They're just super big and take up a lot of space, and it's like, where do I put this?
Yeah, I mean, I still have never taken my Triptychon out of the box because I can't figure out where I'm going to put it. But that is all I got this week. Apollo, what do you have?
Well, I have a few things to talk about for this week's episode. So the first one is the War for Cybertron Core Class Hot Rod in-hand images from the Kingdom line. And I first saw these on like through Twitter. Like, that's where I see a lot of stuff, is through Twitter first. And I'm really impressed by this mold, for the core class figures. Like, I just slight spoilers for our other show. Like, I just got the core class Soundwave, and he's an impressive figure, and like it's just really cool seeing these core class figures that are designed so well. I mean, there are some things about it, like there's like a gap in the back of his head, but it's a core class figure. It's not going to be the same as like a leader class figure. But I think any fans of Hot Rod are definitely should pick this up. Charles, what do you think of Kingdom Core Class Hot Rod?
Yeah, it's nice to get all these images so you can see kind of a 360-degree view of him. Because, yeah, we just, when it was finally announced or officially shown off last week, we only got, they give you the glamour shots, but not the details. So, but yeah, I agree with you that it's a for a smaller figure, it really seems to be well articulated and well designed. Those gaps in the back are a little, they're throwing me off a little bit, but I mean, yeah, it's a smaller figure, so you can make allowances for that. I really am happy with the Studio Series Hot Rod, so I feel like if I don't feel the need to double dip for this Hot Rod, just because the Studio Series Hot Rod is so good, and I had so much fun with that figure. But I mean, I definitely see this as a good figure for younger kids. Like if you're trying to introduce Transformers to your kids or your nieces or nephews, this would be a good figure to say, hey, let's watch Transformers the movie. This is the main character from the movie, and that might inspire a new generation of fans.
Yeah, and like you can't beat the price point on these figures too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Charles, for sharing your thoughts on that figure. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Core Class Hot Rod?
Yeah, I think this is a really nice looking figure. And when we saw it a couple weeks ago, I thought it looked really good then, but seeing some of these in hand pictures really kind of cements that. And I do see how they're kind of compensating from having like the gap in the back of the head, where in robot mode, the spoilers, on his back are going to cover that up. So it's a compromise. I can see where they had to make it and how they're kind of hiding it, but I can also, guess that there will be some company providing some fillers, and I can see where like some repro labels could really kind of enhance the figure. But I mean, it's a core class, so how much are you really going to put into that? I mean, personally, my kid is kind of on a hot rod thing right now. He just, ever since I got that Studio Series hot rod, he's been kind of enamored with the character, and we're working on his Pound Derby car for Cub Scouts, and we've been doing Transformers every year, and he wants this year to be hot rod. So I can see picking this up for him so he can have that to play with instead of, my more expensive versions. But for younger kids, I think this is a perfect kind of introduction to the character. And then they can see the movie and see that he's the reason that Optimus Prime died. Then hate the character like we all did for years.
That's a hot take, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, basically, until the IDW comics, he was not the most popular character in the fandom.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. I do have something else to talk about for toy news. So, and I got really excited about these. There's a first look at the Transformers RED, Ultra Magnus, and Knockout figures. And there's some in-hand images that have been released. And like anyone who's a Knockout fan, like this is the figure that I think all of us have been waiting for. Like he looks so good. Like he looks like the animation model from Transformers Prime. And I really like the comparison images that they show of him with the existing toys for Transformers Prime Starscream and Soundwave and Shockwave. And it's just, I'm really impressed. Like I'm definitely going to be buying the Knockout figure. There were also comparison images released of Ultra Magnus with Optimus Prime, the RAD figure from that line. And I actually like the look of the Ultra Magnus figure a lot better than the Optimus Prime, even though it's the same mold. Like something about the color scheme just to me works better. But yeah, I think if anyone listening, if you're fans of these figures or these characters, I'd pick them up. Like I only have one RED figure right now, and that's Coronation Starscream. So the only thing about it is with these figures is the plastic's kind of different than the normal toy line. Like it's that, I don't know what the specific name of the plastic is. So Charles or Jeremy, if you know, it's like that rubbery plastic.
Yeah, it's a softer plastic, I guess.
Yeah. So, so that's, just keep that in mind. If you buy one of these figures, it's not like your traditional toy. It's going to have a softer plastic. So, Jeremy, what do you think of these two RED figures?
I like them. I don't have any of this line at all yet, but I've always liked how, because they don't have to actually transform, you're able to get that kind of perfect robot look. And like Knockout, he is just like show perfect in this. I mean, the biggest complaint I can see is some of the paint details, like on the side of his face where you can see the grays on the red. And I'm like, oh, Knockout would not stand for that. You would think that with a character like that, you need to have more attention to detail. But on the whole, I think it looks good. And the Ultra Magnus, when I first saw this, I laughed that they released an Ultra Magnus that was basically just a white Optimus Prime, because that's the original toy, and that's just funny. But I thought it was cool. I like how in these pictures they do kind of recreate. I mean, not exactly, but there was a Dreamwave comic where you had the white Ultra Magnus bursting out of his armor, and you have a picture of him here with a bunch of Ultra Magnus armor pieces. I thought that was fun. But it looks cool. The light blue and the kind of teal green really work with the white. The color scheme is pretty interesting. I'm wondering if eventually down the line we're going to get like an armor kit to attach to it, or if they're just going to do another regular Ultra Magnus at some point that's fully armored up. But yeah, these both look really good.
Yeah, well, great. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on these figures. Charles, what do you think of these figures?
Yeah, I think that Knockout is really good. I mean, that's a character that I think deserves this some extra love, since I think it's kind of, I mean, he was a breakout character in Transformers Prime, which now at this point is, I mean, it premiered 10 years ago, which is crazy to me, but he's been prominent since then, since that show, and then he's been brought forward in the IDW comics, and I think he's still got a lot of fans, so it's nice to see him getting a figure here. And I think with the RED line, since you don't have to worry about an alt mode, you get to really emphasize the original CGI model. So he really looks nice, and he has all those attachments too, so that's cool. The Ultra Magnus, I mean, I know it's a white Optimus Prime. They've done that for Ultra Magnus for a long time, but I still would prefer to have an armored Ultra Magnus figure, and maybe they'll do that in the future. But I mean, I know it's kind of an easy way to utilize this mold if you just color it white and call it Ultra Magnus. But I would really like to see what they could do with a real Ultra Magnus. I mean, whether they just make a set of armor to put on this figure, or just release a completely new figure. I'd like to see what they do in this line. I'm curious, like what the rationale is for the RED line, because they're picking from all these different eras. Like we've got G1 characters, we've got Beast Wars characters, we've got Transformers Prime characters, and so I'm wondering like what else they're going to do, and how they're picking which characters get in this line.
Yeah, I have no idea how they're picking the characters. Like, it'd be interesting to talk with someone from Hasbro about that, if they were willing to share like why they're picking specific figures, like, or characters to make figures of. Like, I mean, with Knockout, I could see like the rationale. He's a popular character, and the existing toy, like nowadays compared to what's out, isn't that great. So, this is definitely accurate to the animation model a lot more. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Charles, for sharing that. And that's all I have for toys this week.
All right. Well, I will wrap things up. I've got a new set of figures, and this line kind of it always surprises me and confuses me, because I don't know. I kind of don't know what the point of this line is, and we never get any news about this until these things hit the store shelves. So it's like, for some reason, I guess people thought, oh, this, it's the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. So it's they sometimes do like we had a new figure with that the origin Bumblebee that was the Cybertronian Bumblebee, but a lot of the line is just kind of retools or remolds or repaints of existing figures, but they're branded in new ways. So what we've got now is we've got, you've heard of Studio Series 86, but have you heard of BB 86? Because that's what we've got now. We've got BB 86 figures, which one of which is a repaint of the Studio Series 86 Cup, and then the other is a repaint of the War for Cybertron Cliff Jumper, Earthrise Cliff Jumper. So it's really interesting because the Cup, one thing about the Cup is that they've changed his windshield, so the windshield looks more like the animation model. They've even put like little scratches in the windshield to match how he looks in the animated movie. And Cliff Jumper is looking more, I guess, to make him look more like his animation model. They've also, covered over his windshield and everything to make, just with a kind of a blue sticker or blue paint to make him look, more like the animation model, I guess, to more evoke how he looked in the animated series and in the animated movie in 86. So it's just kind of weird that we've got the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line just having these weird offshoots or side shoots of different lines and just co-opting different figures from different places and just putting them in their own line. And, in my opinion, the Cup is actually a better representation of the, a Cup from the animated movie than the Studio Series figure. I actually saw the Studio Series Cup in a Target recently, and I almost picked him up, but then I kind of passed on him because I still don't like the face on that Cup. I still think that face on Cup is kind of weird. But with the added change to the windshield now and this Buzzworthy Bumblebee one, I might pick it up if I see this one in the store. And I feel glad that I kind of waited past the original release to get this more accurate animation model release, even though they still didn't fix the face, but it's still a little bit better. I'm just surprised at what's going on with this Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. Apollo, what do you think of these figures, and what do you think is going on with Buzzworthy Bumblebee? Why does this thing exist?
That's a good question, Charles. As we were talking about the RED line, I don't know, Buzzworthy Bumblebee is even more of a mystery, just with kind of just the random characters that they're picking to put in this line. To me, these are both very random characters to pick for this line of figures.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad that I was slowly collecting the Studio Series 86 figures, and I hadn't bought Cup yet, and I'm actually going to pick this one up. I like how he looks way better than the Studio Series version. So I'll be buying this one for sure. And I have Cliff Jumper already, the War for Cybertron one, and I do like how the Buzzworthy 86 one looks a lot better. I like how they painted the windshield on him and the windows, and I like the change in the color of the legs, but I'm not rebuying Cliff Jumper. It was hard enough for me to get this Cliff Jumper. I had to message a friend who was at a convention, then they saw it and bought it for me. So, yeah, I like how they're both looking, but it makes me wonder, what other figures are they going to re-release next? So,
yeah, I totally agree with you on the Cup. I'm definitely gonna pick up this Cup if I see it in the store. But yeah, it's really weird. And the thing that throws me is that not only do we see these weird choices in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line, we don't get any indication of what's coming out ahead of time. These things, we had no hints or previews or store listings or anything. They just show up on the shelves, and it's it's a surprise to everyone apparently. So apparently these are like the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line is not interesting enough for leakers to put stuff out ahead of time. And it just surprises everyone. I don't know. Jeremy, what do you think of these figures? And you already have a Studio Series 86 cup, right? So I think you just opened it, didn't you?
Well, no, I've had it open for a while.
Oh, okay.
Like a month or so, but it's a great figure. I do like this one better. I agree with you on the head sculpt. Like the face, he needs to be happier. Or at least look, he needs to either look happy or mad. Right now, he just looks depressed.
That's true.
But I mean, I do like how, I mean, they got the details on the little kind of fake scratches on the chest where it matches the animation. I think that's really cool. The colors are great. What upsets me is we just had that call with Hasbro all about Studio Series. That was like the main point of the call was Studio Series and nothing about this. So, I mean, okay, whatever. But I am also confused about this Bumblebee line. It's kind of a catch-all line, I guess, where when they want to put something out and it doesn't really have a place in the other lines because like they've already done the cup and they don't want to do another, they can do Studio Series 8602 BB cup and then re-release Earthrise Cliff Jumper as a Studio Series figure, which I always thought Studio Series had like a higher quality, like somewhere between mainline and Masterpiece was Studio Series. But this is an Earthrise figure with different paint apps. I mean, it looks great. I don't have a Cliff Jumper, so if I get one, it'll likely be this one. But it just, I don't know. I feel like there should be a little bit higher level of quality for Studio Series because you're kind of calling that out. But I don't know, they both look great. I am a big fan of the painted windows, especially on these figures where, like Cliff Jumper, you can see all the folded, transformed parts inside, through the windshields. So just paint them, and painting them blue like they did here, I think that's great. It's a perfect color, reminds you of the animation. I mean, on Cup, I didn't really mind what they did with the original one with, let me get that picture up here again, but the original one, I mean, it didn't show anything. It was just kind of fake circuitry and stuff. It was just a clear panel over plastic, but the animation, like the Buzzworthy Bumblebee one, looks a lot better with the painted stuff. But on the figures that have clear windshields like Cliff Jumper, I am much more of a fan of painting it and hiding all the transformed pieces inside. So they both look great. I'm not going to buy a second cup, but I would likely get the Cliff Jumper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's this is a mystery. Yeah, I maybe like the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line is left to like an intern or something, and they weren't even involved in the designer meeting. So that's why maybe the designers have no idea what goes into the Buzzworthy Bumblebee. I mean,
maybe it's a marketing thing, and they're like, "Can you make a few tweaks on this existing figure?"
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. You also do get a nice new background of Autobot City. I mean, the other ones I think have all been some of the space scenes from the movie. So, having an Autobot City backdrop is never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's super weird. And I mean, the other thing is we're way past Bumblebee. Like this line is not focused on Bumblebee anymore. So why is it still called Buzzworthy Bumblebee?
Yeah.
I mean, Bumblebee didn't really have a lot to do in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing, like, I forgot to mention this, but like the packaging is so confusing. Like looking at it from like a design perspective, it's like
Yeah.
they're like, we're just gonna put everything on here. It doesn't make sense at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the comparison one between the regular Studio Series Cup and the Bumblebee one, I mean, you have Transformers along the side. Okay, that's what kind of toy it is. And then you see Studio Series Transformers the movie. Okay, you know, that all makes sense. This Bumblebee one, you have Transformers Studio Series 8602 BB Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cup. It's like, are there any more words you can put on there?
And for good measure, RC, and I think on the side is Mirage.
Yeah.
No art of Cup anywhere on there.
No, none.
Yeah. I don't know. Next call. Write this down, Jeremy. If you get invited to the next call with Hasbro, have a question ready about Buzzworthy Bumblebee, and like just like Buzzworthy Bumblebee. WTF?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Just why?
We need answers at this point.
I think that's going to be the title for the episode. Buzzworthy Bumblebee. WTF?
All right. It's decided. We got it.
Love it.
All right. Well, that's all our toy topics. So we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so we can show it on YouTube in beautiful high definition. But we'll have the audio right here in the podcast so you can keep listening as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's jump into all the stuff we got this week. I'm going to go first because I don't have anything new. Sorry about that. But I am still trying to sell some of my old stuff. So I'm sure everyone is enjoying Studio Series 86 Scourge. That was a very cool figure. A lot of people liked. We've got a new Chiron here that I did not approve this Chiron.
It's almost like I've had that ready to go since the last time you did that.
But yeah, so I recently got Studio Series 86 Scourge thanks to a listener who helped me out. So I would like to get rid of my Titans Return Scourge if anyone out there is interested. I've got the little Titans Return card too, and the instruction booklet. So it's all complete. It's got tech specs on the back of the card. Isn't that cool? Tech specs. Everyone likes tech specs. Yeah, and he's a headmaster or a Titan master, as they say, but it's a headmaster. Come on, we know it's a headmaster. Yeah, there he is. Comes off, still works. Nice figure. Anyone want a Titans Return Scourge? Let me know. The Chiron was right. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy.
All right. I had this actually came in a couple weeks ago. While I was on that Hasbro call, I got an alert from Amazon saying this was delivered. And it was the first of my Golden Disc collection.
Oh.
This is Autobot Puffer and Autobot Road Ranger. So they are both basically the pipes and huffer mold. They are here. Really interesting colors. I would guess I can't even remember the names now. Again, the Road Ranger colors, the orange and black and red seem to be a little bit more interesting to me. The design work on there is cool. His gun actually was interesting. I mean, I don't have either of the molds, so I don't know if this is how it is on the others, but the gun actually splits apart. Somehow here. There's a spot here. Stays together very well, but when you transform it, they go on the side of the truck, and I don't know why I can't get it apart now, but just trust me, they go apart and come together. And then he has this claw thing that's basically the bed of the truck. So it's very cool. And what's neat, I mean, these are essentially the exact same mold, but with slight changes, because the pipes mold, and the upcoming pipes figure does this too, but to make the robot modes a little different. Whereas the Huffer mold has that the pipes mold the cab will twist around. The Huffer mold doesn't twist. So, I mean, there are a few like slight differences like that. There's, you can see that piece in there that handles the rotation is not present there. So I thought that was neat. They have, I mean, it looks the same, but they do slightly different things. The chest pieces are also different, but I mean, that's just a piece of plastic that can interchange, but I like them both. Since I'm getting this, I'm likely not to get the official pipes or Huffer mold, but I like the, I'd forgotten I ordered them. They're good figures, and the box is cool. I think I only actually ordered 3 of the 4 golden disc things. I need to find out if I'm remembering right. But if I do have all 4, the boxes will look really cool. Just behind everything with the big golden disc. But yeah, that's all I got this week.
Cool. Is Pterosaur one of those golden disc?
Yeah, Pterosaur actually comes with a disc.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think it's the same disc that the Ark comes with.
Oh, neat.
Cool.
All right, Apollo, wrap things up for us. You don't have to compete with Daryl this week, so you get the you get the prize spot.
I'm glad I don't have to compete with Daryl. There's so much pressure.
Especially after a convention.
Yeah. So I have 2 things to show this week. The first is Draculus, and I am obsessed with this figure. Like, I have not had as much fun with a figure in like a long time. Like, he's really fun to transform. I think he's based off an older figure. Like, I noticed, like, he's using like ball joints up here for his shoulders, and then like his feet are kind of floppy, but still had a ton of fun, turning this guy from vampire robot to vampire bat robot and back and forth. But I also love that he comes with a cloth cape, and I really want to normalize Transformers wearing clothes. Like, I think that's just super cool, like with actual like cloth, it's not just Starscream with his fabulous coronation outfit. Like, let's make this a thing moving forward.
Yeah.
So
having soft goods with it just kind of adds a little bit to the figures.
Yeah, instead of this being like a plastic cape, like I like that it's fabric, like a real cape. Like, it's super cool. So
yeah.
The packaging for this figure is really nice as well. Like, it looks like a VHS tape. I'm just wondering what other like monsters they're going to do, if anything, or other famous movie icons. So,
I mean, you could think Frankenstein with the whole Autobot spike. There is, you could do something there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, yeah. So, anyways, I highly recommend him. I don't know if he's still on sale at Target, but he was on sale, like, and it's a really good price for a figure. So I highly recommend him. So,
and he's a retool of Titans Return Mind Wipe.
Yeah,
I just looked it up.
That's what I thought. I wasn't 100% sure, but Yeah, and I like how there's little holes in the back for his wings. So, and these other holes at the bottom of his cape are for when he's in his vampire bat mode. So,
Okay.
Yeah, so I highly recommend him. And then the other one I got that I haven't opened yet is the core class Soundwave from Kingdom. And I saw this and like immediately just went, I must buy this. So, because it's very rare for me to find Transformers in the wild. So, without like going online or asking friends. So, I can't wait to open him. I've heard really good things about him. So, yeah. So, and you can't beat the price on these core class figures. And that's all I have to show this week.
Yeah, I've seen that core class Soundwave in my local store a few times. It seems like it's, for some reason, that's getting a lot of distribution compared. Like I guess all the core class figures are getting a lot of better distribution. Like I see Soundwave, Optimus Prime, Starscream, Megatron. They're all those core class figures are pretty well stocked. But yeah,
easier to fit a bunch of those into a box.
That's true.
Yeah. Regarding
I'm sure the like you said, the price point, it's easier at this time of year for like stocking stuffers and stuff for people just to grab a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regarding the monsters, maybe we'll get we've got Weird Wolf in Titan's Return. Maybe we get a Wolfman as a Weird Wolf retool.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
But we'll see, I guess.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will move on to convention news.
All right. Well, TFCon just wrapped up this weekend, and really the only thing to talk about until next week when Daryl can actually tell us how the show went is they've announced the dates for next year's TFCon Toronto, which is the 20th anniversary of TFCon, and it is July 9th through 11th. So that is awesome. I am very appreciative that it is not on my anniversary or my kid's birthday, so there's a chance I can go. So yeah, it's cool that they're going with a G2 font. So I don't know if that'll give any hints to any of their plans, but 20 years it's really great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening. I mean, they now have LA, Toronto, and then they're roaming US one that's in Chicago in October. So seems like we're getting back in the swing of things. So
nice.
That's all we got for convention news.
All right. And that will take us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. Apollo, thanks again for joining us this week. Maybe tell everyone where they can find your stuff online.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun to join you guys and talk Transformers. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RoboApollo, and I do have commissions open. I will be tabling in Artist Alley at TFCon Los Angeles in March. So I will be opening traditional commissions soon, probably in like a week or so. So if you plan on going to those conventions, you can message me once I make the post. I just also like talking Transformers in general. So, you can follow me and we can chat Transformers, and I'm pretty active in our server here too for Transmissions.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's cool that you're going to have a table at TFCon Los Angeles. So yeah, definitely check out her stuff when you check out the commissions, and check it out when you get there if you're going to TFCon Los Angeles. Yeah,
it's been 2 years. So I was supposed to table in 2020 at TFCon Los Angeles or not Los Angeles, Orlando. And yeah, so yeah, it's finally happening.
All right. As always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrions. So thank you again to John 4X Levengood, Dinobot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Septimus Solvane. Thank you for continuing to support the show at our highest level, and that's why we give you a shout out in every episode. And last thing, if you want to help us out buying some merchandise from our TeePublic store, that's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. We've got lots of cool shirt designs, mugs, masks, lots of cool stuff. Of course, if you buy anything from TeePublic through that link, that will help us out. So don't go to teepublic.com, go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And that's it for this week's episode. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. We'll see you next time.